Namaskar. Hello and welcome to 𝗑𝗙 channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. I am broadcasting live today for a change, and I wanted to update you with what happened between the Hindenburg research investigation into Adani and how that appears to be connected with Mr. Rahul Gandhi and a bunch of other people who are all UPA members. And this is now seeing the light of the day because Mossad had done some research. They have now come out with their findings. I'm going to give you a bunch of references that are already there in our description section. So do spend some time to understand the background of all these things and let us get cracking. But before I do that, please like this video and let's go. Mossad's covert op to shield Adani and India-Israel ties. The problem happened because the Hindenburg research revelations came at a most inconvenient time for Adani because he had just about to ink a deal with Israel on taking over the port operations of Haifa. Now, don't get me wrong. This is very, very manual, labor-intensive, trying to manage a port, and I think Adani has done an excellent job of managing various ports across the country in India, and now he's branching out to other countries. Nothing wrong in that. If somebody has the logistics worked out to be profitable despite having a lot of labor, so be it, and he won the deal fair and square. So the link of revelations of Hindenburg with what was about to go down as a big deal with Israel. Haifa is the biggest port in Israel, and it was an essential cog in the IMEEC corridor that India and Israel and other countries were planning. So the Mossad got involved. What they did was they launched a program called Operation Zeppelin to protect Adani and Israel's strategic interests. They wanted to make sure that this was not something that was not genuine, and they started digging. This is because the Hindenburg Research January 2023 report accused Adani Group of corporate fraud. Now, remember at that time when it came, I said I would like to reserve my judgment until more data emerges, because this is all white-collar crime, very difficult to say who's right and who's wrong. And I said that we have to wait, and now we are seeing all the information come out. What had happened was, like I said, the reports release coincided with the Adani Ports Company finalizing a $1.2 billion deal to acquire Israel's Haifa port. What does that mean? Port management, trying to offload cargo, onload cargo, and all the other logistics around it, that was managed by Adani Group, and they have done this thing for many other ports in India. They've done a fairly good job. I mean, no matter what I might have reservations about the way they do their corporate structuring, their efficiency, their output has been stellar. Whether it is Ambani or Adani, I have to tell you, you cannot keep succeeding unless you have a template that works from every industry sector to every other industry sector. So the reports release coincided with the Adani Ports deal. So then what happened was Mossad wanted to find out if this is a real thing or was it a plan to short the stock so that when the stock goes down, you make a ton of money. And that had been the Hindenburg Research founder's modus of operandi. This is how he has been doing it for the past. So there is a track record of this individual. The question was, what would prompt him to do this thing now? What is it that was important for them to do this? Well, it turns out, and I'm going to come to that in just a moment, because this is the bigger picture that you need to get here. There's a bigger picture that you need to get here. So the Mossad reportedly wanted to find out, get to the bottom of this. Then somewhere, and those things will become clear after you see the next few slides. And somewhere they detected a link between Soros and Hindenburg Research. That was the first one that was already established fairly quickly. But then it went beyond that because something happened. And I'll tell you what that something was. Just one moment. So Mossad reportedly hacked into the servers of Sam Pitroda. By the way, I have to tell you a story here. Sam Pitroda is a US citizen, but he's also a board member of Young Indian, and therefore he's also implicated in the National Herald scam. And when he had to be when he had to be handed the papers to come appear in front of a court in India, what he did was, well, it was Dr. Swamy was the complainant, and he had his friend Jagdish Shetty fly all the way over from India to Chicago to go to the doorstep of Sam Pitroda and deliver the papers. So this is something like, you are being given the warrant to appear in front of the court. So he's being served the papers. It's usually, that's the legal word used, I think. Served the papers. You know what he did? He said, these were not served properly. I need to be served through the appropriate channels. You know what the appropriate channels is? Dr. Swamy, who is the complainant, has to put all the information about Sam Pitroda, that he needs to be present as the director of this entity, Young Indian, and this has to be routed through the proper channels. What are the proper channels? This needs to be given to the Home Ministry in India. The Home Ministry in turn will send it to the Department of State in the United States, and the Department of State in the United States in turn will serve Sam Pitroda. Basically, what he did was delay tactic. It took another couple of months before he was served. Eventually, he was served too. So I just wanted to say this thing to all our viewers. Some of you are settled in India, who may be not settled in India, but who might be chased by these kind of lawsuits. You need to insist that you need to be served properly. Don't back down. Don't accept these papers. Say, I have to be served properly. Don't tell them how proper serving is. Let them figure that out. Just wanted to share that data with you. Now, why did they hack the servers? Now, whether this is going to stand up in a court of law, I don't know. Essentially, they had to establish a link that there was something that Sam Pitroda was doing that had something to do with Hindenburg Research. Okay, how did they figure out? They accessed encrypted chat rooms and back channel communications that allegedly showed links to Hindenburg operatives. I mean, if you encrypt something and then the decrypted data shows that, it is kind of hard to walk away from. Basically, there is going to be no lawsuit against Sam Pitroda or Rahul Gandhi in any court in US or in Israel or even in India on this. Essentially, this thing was done to basically find out, separate water from milk, 𝗒𝗏𝗏 or 𝗠𝗎𝗙 ka pani. So Mossad was tasked by this because, and I'll tell you why they were tasked this. Netanyahu wanted to really find out if he was dealing with a genuine person or was there a problem. Fair enough, right? So Rahul Gandhi was reportedly referred to in Mossad documents as the Bitter Dynast. Dynast, you know, right? Dynastic. Bitter means somebody who's always angry or bitter. Surveillance tracked his movements, including a meeting in Palo Alto, California in May 2023. Remember that this fellow was asked to come and give a lecture in a private building that's part of the Stanford campus, where one individual, and I've already shown that data in a different video, and that individual had paid for the whole thing, and this guy went there. But the news that came out was as if Rahul Gandhi was addressing University of Stanford, or he was giving a talk at Stanford University. Bullshit. These were all private. It's a private meeting where they are basically paid $400, $500, $600 an hour for use of a particular room, and they had invited a bunch of people. I did not go. I didn't see any merit in going to see these things. So that's exactly what happened. So it looks like there was a meeting with some individuals allegedly linked to Hindenburg during that time. In fact, if you remember, I think the day after that or something like that, in Santa Clara Convention Center, this is a huge convention center. It can easily hold up to 5,000 people. And when they turned up there, Rahul Gandhi saw, I think, 300 people. And then word was sent out and people were buzzed in. These were people who belong to Bangladesh and Pakistan. And then they come there and the national anthem, Jana Gana Mana, is being sung, and these guys are just sitting. I mean, you know that the game is up. These are all the crooked tricks these people play. I mean, viewers, you need to really not, sip this Kool-Aid that Congress and its ecosystem sells. Anyway, so the interesting thing was the report further went on to claim that among those allegedly linked to the communications was Rahul Gandhi. So then what happened was Netanyahu reportedly ordered Mossad to act, fearing that the Hindenburg report could derail the Haifa port deal, damage Adani's global reputation, and undermine the India-Israel economic and diplomatic partnership. Netanyahu held a private meeting with Gautam Adani, and some things were said, and Adani said, absolutely not. This is basically a way to try and drive down the price to short the stock and make money from shorting the stock. Okay, so then what happened? Two Mossad divisions were involved in this investigation. These were called the 𝗤𝗏𝗏 and the 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗏, which focus on cyber operations. Then what happened? Well, this is the interesting part. Hindenburg Research has been dissolved. Did you know that? Okay. Mossad's operations spanned North America, Europe, and Australia. The targets reportedly included Hindenburg's founder Nathan Anderson, as well as activist lawyers, journalists, hedge funds, and individuals allegedly linked to George Soros, the Biden administration, and US intelligence agencies. They compiled, that is the Mossad compiled, a 353-page document called the Zeppelin dossier by early 2024. This allegedly exposed links between USAID, which is now a defunct organization, the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project. This is another big lie that was funded by the United States, USAID, and other dubious agencies, also NED, to try and make it look like these people were clean and they were out to expose the corrupt. This is again a US covert operation, and various Western media networks. The dossier framed these entities as key players in a coordinated anti-Adani, anti-India Israel campaign. Most global media outlets declined to publish the findings. Only French outlet Mediapart ran parts of the story. So this is how this thing even saw the light of the day. What is the legal fallout of this in the US? In late 2024, the US Department of Justice and SEC initiated legal proceedings against Adani entities. Now, this was something that was part of whatever they had done. And I mean, at that point of time, Biden was still in power. These cases reportedly collapsed, leading to the resignation of US Attorney 𝗍𝗏𝗍𝗍. Look, these are all people who are punching way above their weight without really understanding how to even build a case. Sorry to be so harsh. Many attorneys, many attorneys general, these people are showing that they are completely out of their depth. I mean, one of them is, of course, the one who ran for president of the United States, Kamala Harris. She was also an attorney general of the state of California. Doesn't know much about law, in my opinion. Anyway, Adani's legal team, led by Quinn Emanuel, issued a 7-page legal warning to Hindenburg Research. Then what happened? In January 2025, Nathan Anderson allegedly agreed to dissolve Hindenburg in return for legal immunity. So he knew the writing was on the wall. Adani is a big company. He's not going to let you go. This immunity was revoked. So he got the immunity during Biden's term, looks like. But what has happened is that immunity has since been revoked under the Trump administration, and now he will have to face the music. Now, what are the strategic implications of all this? Mossad reportedly viewed the attack on Adani as an act of geopolitical sabotage, which is what it looked like even then. But be that as it may, see, if India is trading its company stocks in the New York Stock Exchange, there will be things like this. This is not the first time. This won't be the last time. You have to have substance to show that there was indeed some malfeasance. And this has, this whole thing was to try and disrupt major infrastructural deals. And this is again part of the IMEEC, which I think India is trying to get a handle on, so that this can be something that will be cost effective and goods can reach in a fairly low amount of overhead to parts of Europe, parts of Middle East, parts of Africa, and so on and so forth. So this is the picture here. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to see if there are any questions here, and I'll try to answer those things. Mehul Kamdar, just for your information, Satyan Pittura is a close buddy of Raja Krishnamurthy's. I used to know him, and a Tamil buddy of theirs whom you know quite well when I lived in Chicago. Mehul Bhaiya, Raja Krishnamurthy is like the acolyte of Barack Obama. What do you do? What do you do, man? I mean, you need to have some coattails to hang on to, so that when that guy goes up, you also ride his coattails to the top. Raja is a good guy. I'm telling you. I've had one-on-one interactions with him, offline and online. He's a good guy. But you need to, goad them into action sometimes. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay, let me see if there are any questions. Just give me a second while I take a look at that. This is a question that we had also asked, why there were no police presence there. There were 2,000 people. Okay, a little off topic. Here's a question from Giri. Let me just connect this. Just give me 1 second, guys. Lots of comments. Okay, couple of questions. Let's just go through them quickly. First one is from Giri. A little off topic. Why High Court and Supreme Court are bent upon bullying Baba Ramdev and Patanjali? Are they jealous of his wealth or what? It is very suspicious the amount of importance they give. Look, the line that came in Kashmir files, you know, satya mein to wo honge lekin system hamara hai, rings true, especially in the jurisdictional matters in India. Nothing has happened. These people act and behave like no laws are applicable to them. This collegium bullshit has to go. My personal opinion. When will it go? How will it go? And I don't know how many of you caught on to this. Without naming the person, RVS Mani and I had hinted about how a certain Chief Justice of India, who was Chief Justice for more than 2.5 years, who was fast-tracked, so that they knew that if this happens this time, this happens this time, this happens this time, this person will get fast-tracked into various courts and finally into the Supreme Court, and when it comes to his turn, he will be the Chief Justice of India. You can go back and look at those videos who this individual is. He is retired now, so I don't want to take his name, but you all know who I am hinting. It was a completely staged, managed exercise. The man has much to be humble about. It was just his father, who was also CJI. That was the big links that they were pulling. And this guy's son now is an advocate in Supreme Court, taking up all 𝗟𝗡𝗙𝗍 cases. I hope you got a hint on who I'm talking about. Okay, Anandan Doresami wants to know, Vanakkam and good morning, Sree from Sydney, Australia. On a side note, is it right the US Vice President is selling F-35 at a time when the whole nation is mourning the death of its peaceful citizens? Anandan, I don't know if he is, but think of it this way. The country cannot completely come to a stop because an unfortunate incident happened. Things have to still move. Lights are on. We are all watching our TV. So it's not like we completely shut down and start mourning. Yes, we will mourn for some time. We are all with the families, especially some of the images that we are getting are heart-rending. But this man has a work to do. I mean, right now, F-35s are, they have become white elephants. Even United States is kind of pausing about that. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, he's actually selling US data. I mean, who is US interest? It's up to us whether we want to take it or not. What is the political and public reaction to this barbaric act and how this is different from the Gaza massacre? Anandan, so far what I have seen is statements have come from Raja Krishnamurthy, from Ro Khanna. Ro Khanna, in fact, has written India-US caucus. He is along with McCormick, Congressman McCormick. They both have written to the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, urging him to make sure that such things don't happen in future. I told you, right, the first one that I had 2 days ago, about 48 hours ago, I had said that there are 2 Indian American members of Congress in the House Intelligence Committee, and they say that Pakistan will stand if US tells it to stand, and it will sit if US tells it to sit. So who in that group knew that Pakistan was going to sanction this and kill Hindus? I mean, it's a very barbaric act. So this is the thing. If you are a member of the House Intel Committee, you can't say you didn't know. That means then you don't control Pakistan. And if you do, then that means you allowed the massacre of Hindus to happen. Who are your donors? Hindus. Why should the Hindus be giving you money? I'm just asking this question. You can go back and look at that video of mine to understand which 2 congressmen I'm directly accusing of. Anyway, so there is some reaction. FIDS has put out a press statement. Beyond that, what is going to happen is there's going to be a briefing about what happened in a week's time. Hindu Action is doing it. I'll have 𝗤𝗏𝗪 come after that to brief us about who attended, what happened, and how United States is going to prevent this. Certainly, the fount of all this is in United States. Okay, I'm completely convinced about that. And Asim Munir has blood on his hands. Well, I hope he rots and dies a terrible death. That's all I can wish for. Beyond that, there's not much I can do. But these are all people who, they have a set. They are convinced that they are somehow superior to the rest of us. This is one of the problems. They need to have their attitude adjusted. Well, I'm hearing, and I'm going to give you at 10 o'clock a full briefing on what is going on, that India has started to blockade the port of Karachi. Blockade. INS Vikrant is right there, and they've sent a bunch of ships. And that means that, there are some countries who will play both sides, fork tongues. Okay, they will import from India and then re-export it to Pakistan. That part also is being. If naval blockade is done, then how are grains and cereals going to go to Pakistan? The next 3 months, Pakistan is going to go through hell. India needs to be sure that none of these urchins come into India. Hindus are welcome from Pakistan, nobody else. Let's see how that thing plays out. Use the same tactic. Ask them to strip and show them that they are Hindus. Then you allow them in. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.